I became involved with the Black Coalition for AIDS Prevention in 1988, 89, as a member of the community. There were a group of us that were talking about HIV and AIDS and the impact it was having on the Black community, but we were at different tables. A lot of young Black men and women who were living with HIV, but they just, for some reason, weren't receiving the service that we saw a lot of the young white men and women receiving, and we felt that there was a need to create an agency. And we had a lot of allies at that time, and one was named Ed Jackson, who was with the AIDS Committee of Toronto. And he was perhaps one of the strongest allies we had, because he helped to formulate the package that helped to make Black Coalition an organization. It was jubilant in many ways and sad in other ways. You know, to be at the table with people like yourself, with a common goal, with a lot of energy and creativity, wanting to create an agency, a service for people living with HIV and AIDS. And I can recall one of my first experiences with Black Cap was a young woman from Trinidad who told me that she was living with AIDS and was making trips home to coordinate having her child live with his grandparents, and she was also making plans for her funeral home. And that just sort of hit the heart, because I think that showed some strength, not only in women, but Black women and the Black community as a whole. She helped me realize that Black Cap was a lifesaver for many, many people within the community.
Wow, look at this here. This one here. That would be 1991. It had been a year since I found out that I was positive. It had been a year of searching for a place. I knew I needed, you know, besides the doctors, besides the drugs, there's something missing. Like, I knew I needed and I think in those days I didn't quite know what holistic meant, but I knew it had to be more than the drugs. Like, it had to be some place that I could go and talk, possibly see other people that look like me. I first went to another AIDS service organization, and point blank I just said, you know, where are the Black people? I can't be the only one. And they said, oh yeah, there's this organization's called Black Cap, Black Coalition for AIDS Prevention, and they gave me the phone number, and I called, and I didn't even know who I was talking to, but I was like, hi, I'm Black and I'm HIV positive, and I'm looking for like a support person. And they're like, oh, okay, you know, is there a number or something? And they took my number, and next thing I got a call from the support coordinator at the time, Dion Falconer, and she booked the appointment. Talking to Dion was like a release, like my shoulders relaxed. I just sort of, I breathed, and I was like, okay, this is exactly where I want to be, Black Cap. Oh, that's what I was looking for, and I couldn't find him. Garfield. He left us in '95. The one with a big smile and a heart to match.
I think I remember a number of different things. I remember spirit, a certain kind of spirit, a certain kind of energy, a time of community, of gathering, of connection. You know, I remember struggle, you know, the struggle of getting people to understand, appreciate, be aware of the importance of HIV. I remember homophobia and, you know, the dismissal around HIV and it's a gay disease, it's a white disease, and, you know, we don't need to deal with it, it's not our issue. And fighting that, dealing with that. You know, one of the things at the time for Black Cap that was really different and noticeably different was the way that Black men and Black women came together.
There wasn't enough time to do everything that we had to do. It was like we were always playing catch up, and so we were going to AIDS 101 training, getting information about HIV, and going into the community to do presentations and information tables. Anywhere we were invited or asked to go, then, you know, we'd show up with our materials and fabric to put on the table so that people would connect with us. We had our Black Cap t-shirts, asked me about rubberware, and trying to get people to come to the table to access the information that we have. We would go to some of the Toronto housing complex, and that's where we'd start to engage people. For most of what I can remember, I think there were mixed messages about HIV. There were mixed messages about how the virus was spread. It was just new to most of us, and so part of what we were doing was we were engaging, but we were actually learning at the same time. The more we go out into the neighborhood, the more we would get better equipped. It was kind of getting anecdotal evaluation, and that was, I think, a big part of what we did during those early years.